The recently completed playground and pump track in the Rarangi is the latest in a long list of projects carried out by the Rarangi District Residents Association. They are here today representing the Marlborough District.
Ko mātou o Rarangi. Mai te rohi o Tautauihu, o te Waipounamu, ka tuke mihi kia koutou I te tautaukaro. Nō reira, tēnā rā, tātou katoa.
This is us of Rarangi from the top of the South Island. Greetings to you all gathered here in the far north.
Kia ora, I'm Alistair Simon, Mayor of the Marlborough District, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Sarah Gray and Bev Dill from the Rarangi District Residents Association and their playground and pump track project. As you know, councils get approached many times for funding, but this one was a little different. Yes, the Residents Association did come to the council, but then they offered to do all the work themselves. They built a great recreation area, not only for their own small community, but for the whole of Marlborough. And now I'll hand over to Sarah and Bev to fly the flag for Rarangi.
There are only 250 households in Rarangi. Bev, it's flicking, sorry. We're strung along the gentle curve of Cloudy Bay. In the north is an old fishing village, and in the south, the new subdivisions. We enjoy a little independence and a lot of elbow room. And in that spirit of independence, Rarangi maintains many of its own essential services, including a fully trained volunteer fire force. And so the fire station and the attached hall have become the hub that draws us together. And we do like to get together. Weddings, rugby games, reunions, Zumba classes, music for toddlers, and the annual exercising of our customary right to have a fire in a total fire ban zone. But we needed something for our children. We decided on a playground, one with a Rarangi feel, not too much plastic, something rustic but durable. And fortunately, the Marlborough District Council supported our dreams for this gnarly patch of pea gravel, and the great playground consultation began. Children delivered proposals to every household in Rarangi, and we all got to have our say. We got just what we wanted. A challenge, a place together, no rubber matting. We'd started planting years ago, so our playground had a welcoming feel on our opening day. That included our community craft fair, the obligatory sausage sizzle, and an exceptional afternoon tea. Our local councillor had plenty of helpers to cut the ribbon. The playground proved incredibly popular with locals and visitors, which got the residents thinking, what about a bike track in those pine trees? A mad keen cycling resident came up with the idea of a pump track, compact, a challenging course that you ride without pedalling. Can you picture it? No, neither could we. But we ordered the gravel, dock trimmed the pines, we turned it into firewood for our elderly residents, and we engaged the services of Bike Works and their very talented designer Damien Stones. The local construction companies were really generous with all their materials and machinery, and what we assumed would be a few humps and bumps turned out to be a highly technical construction process. Each corner was carefully calculated by Damien and layered with clay and rock and lime and gravel and crusher dust. And at the end of a very exhausting damp and dirty week, the track was ready for an official trial by our helpers from Turmarina School. We said, go on, try it. They did, and they're still going round. The Rarangi volunteers put up a low fence before any motorbikes discovered the track. Cheap timber came from local sawmill. Bev learned how to put in a nail straight. 3 hours, workers aged 4 to 67, no drama, job done. Our Taniwha Trail acknowledges the ancient resident of the nearby caves, and here's a movie of how it looked on opening day, when Rarangi welcomed Marlborough to the region's first pump track.
Well, word travelled fast and cyclists from all around Marlborough came to try out our track. And while they were pumping, we were pushing publicity. The local papers helped us say thank you to the many companies who'd supported us. And it was soon time for our first working bee. Maintenance is important because the pump track surface needs to be kept safe and stable, and local children have taken on the responsibility of kaitiaki. So we have children learning how to handle a shovel and a wheelbarrow. We have children who work with each other and they work with adults. And we have children taking pride in their pump track, all for the minimum wage of chocolate biscuits and orange juice. In January, we had our first Rarangi family big day out. It was a mix of old-fashioned races, old-fashioned competition, and never out of fashion catching up with our neighbours. And that afternoon, we saw the real value of our pump track. We saw big children pushing little children around the humps and the hollows. We saw children that crash, get up and try again. We're getting fit and gaining confidence and becoming safer cyclists on the road. A lot of Marlborough families come to visit Rarangi to enjoy the beach and have a good time without having to spend money. And the new playground and pump track have given them a reason to stay a bit longer and play a bit more. So now, where there used to just be pea gravel and dust and pine needles, we've got swings and slides, we've got children and parents, and laughter and friendship. There's no rubbish, there's no graffiti, and no boredom. But as you know, there's no getting away from the obligatory raffle, and while we flog off the tickets, the firemen recruit the next generation. Something we didn't expect was the organic growth of our recreation area. We woke one morning to find a basketball hoop planted in the playground. 80-year-old resident Tom Wise had rescued it from a skip. He had also been into town and bought a ball. So if we win tonight, how would we spend the prize money? Well, it'd be great to plant some shade trees. A few seats would make it easier to keep an eye on the parents. We could add a communal table for picnics and a water fountain for thirsty kids. Some of the little people are agitating for a junior pump track, please. And this project has been great for bringing people together and strengthening our small community. And a community that plays together stays together. And that's important when you live on top of the Alpine Fault and you're first in line for a tsunami. Winning the TrustPower Award for Marlborough has been an honour and a fantastic experience. Thank you. And we're proud of what we've achieved, and we'll keep working hard to give our fabulous Rarangi children opportunities to enjoy where they live and who they live with. Kia ora, tātou katoa.